Happy Taco Tuesday, Scott.
As always, I feel like one of these days we got to have like margaritas and tacos on the show. We need to do an official Taco Tuesday one of these days.
Yes, let's do it very soon. That's challenge accepted.
Love it. Happy Tuesday to you too. Great to see you again.
Yeah, how things been?
Things are good. Things are good. I mean, we kind of said it before the show tonight with Jen and everybody too. Like life is just happening so quickly. There's just so much going on. Everything's, so busy with schools and educators are stressed and everything. So just trying to remain calm and like find time for ourselves and have those SEL moments to stay sane. How about you? How's your world and your new role and the year for you?
Yeah, same. I feel like every day is a little bit of the same, as far as walk into the same office at home and rinse and repeat. But I mean, each day brings new opportunity and opportunities to celebrate successes around me. So that I'm forever grateful for. And also just grateful that I can do this, job from the comfort of my home as well. So, looking forward to getting back into in person at some point in time. I'm so excited for our guests that we have on tonight, and even more excited that I'm going to actually be able to give them a hug in real person on Friday as they're coming to Houston for an event. So looking forward to seeing them soon. So without further ado, should we jump in, talk about some cool things that we saw this week, and then we'll bring our guests on, which everybody is, I know, waiting for.
Absolutely. Fire away.
All right. So we're going to start off this week with Keisha Barnett from Alabama, amplifying student and teacher voice with one of our favorite tools, Flipgrid. Not only is she using one of those terrific Flipgrid pods, but we also love that she's getting adults involved in the mix with Flipgrid as well. So just like we love to see students, really finding their own agency and voice with Flipgrids, it's also important that our adults be able to have fun and model these tools as well.
Absolutely. Next up this week is two friends of the show, two past guests in Mike Bolson and Ken Shelton. This is Mike sharing a blog post from Ken talking about reading progress and tequity, which we know is one of Ken's big phrases. He talked about it on the show and is a great resource in this area. But he posted on his blog recently as part 1 of 2. And the post highlights how reading progress creates more access to and engagement with reading while also encouraging long-lasting confidence in readers. You can read the post on Ken's website at kenshelton.net. And as we always do, we included the link to the actual blog post in our Wakelet resources. So feel free to check that out after the show.
Awesome. Love me some Ken and Mike for sure. And our third epic recognition for the week is Tammy Dunbar. This past summer, our friend Tammy was named a recipient of the 2021 Interactive Video Conference Classroom Educator Award from ISTE. That's a really long title of an award. But she was recognized for her innovation using video conferencing, specifically using Microsoft Teams to advance student learning. She has been one of our MIEE family members for many years, and she's an incredible resource for educators in her district, and also just around the world. If you have had the pleasure of meeting Tammy or spending time with her, you know how incredibly passionate she is about global learning, about igniting her students and with curiosity and teaching in general. So we just wanted to send our congratulations to our dear friend Tammy for the recognition of your award. So congrats.
Good stuff. So I know you're excited to welcome our guests, and I know I am too, because not only are they great educators, but also good friends to us, amazing people. So shall we bring them on?
Let's do it.
And of course, they're together in one camera shot. But they are instructional technologists from Fort Worth, Texas, in the Eagle Mountains, Saginaw ISD, probably better known as Jenna Lee. They do actually have first names. Some people don't know that, but Jenny and Celie, better known as Jenna Lee. They are authors, they are speakers, they are consultants, teachers, and amazing women, professionals, moms, the whole thing. But we are very happy to welcome Jenny Long and Celie Clark to the show. Ladies, how are you?
We're doing great. Thank you for that great introduction, Scott. You covered all the bases.
You did.
Tried to. Could have been longer. You guys do more than just that, but
No, it's funny though, because when we do meet people, like if they meet me first, they're like, Celie, okay. And then when they meet Jenny, they're like, oh, Jenna Lee, we get it. I'm like, yeah,
right.
one person, but not one person. Kind of confusing sometimes.
You guys took the whole Bennifer thing to the education scene.
I did. Yes.
Right.
It's so great to be here with you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, we're just excited to have you on and for our guests to be able to learn from you guys. It's all about, learning moments. So we are grateful that not only are you individually and collectively amazing together, but your ability to want to connect with others and share the knowledge that you have, the stories that you've been able to connect with other educators with on is just incredible. And we're just really grateful for you that you're willing to share your voice and help others all around you succeed.
It's definitely our passion.
Oh,
thank you. That was sweet.
So why don't you ladies tell us some of the things that you've been working on here recently this year, this school year, or, just in the past, I guess now almost 11 months for this current year, but what's top of mind for you guys? What are you working on? Just so our audience can get to know a little bit about what you do.
Well, we have a lot of coals in the fire. But here, personally, I think we have a big project we've been working on, so we'll talk about that too. But at work here together, Celine and I just are so blessed that we get to work together every day. And I love coming to work and seeing her, and she'll text me when I'm not here, and she's like, "I miss you," and I'll text her, I'm like, "Where are you today?" So it's just great that we get to be together every day, and usually at night and on the weekends. But, this year it's just really been different with having technology. Our district was not a one-to-one district. We are a Microsoft district, fortunately, but we did not have technology pre-COVID. So it was nice with COVID getting, some funding to be able to equip our classrooms with iPads and, Dell touchscreen laptops. So that has been a huge change, and just being able to support our teachers that way has been a huge task for us this year.
Mm-hmm. I think some of the intricate details of things we've been working on, we are a Microsoft district, which we love. And we've just recently put in new Microsoft computers into all of our teachers' touchscreen panels on their walls. So that's super exciting. So we've been helping train them, which they love because they know how to work their PC. So it's easy to just transition straight onto the panel and on the wall. But we've also been working with curriculum to connect with them and make sure that we're infusing technology to where it is seamless and not just another thing they have to do. And then we've also been working on digital portfolios with our students in Teams and in OneNote. So helping them track their data and set goals throughout the school year.
So you ladies, you obviously mentioned that you've been having access to, I would say, software for some time and being part of the Microsoft schools families, if you would. But you mentioned that you now are in a one-to-one environment. So the addition of the hardware, what uniqueness or what has that allowed you guys to do as a district now that your own students have access to the hardware? Can you just dig in there a little bit? I think, oftentimes people hear, oh, they're one-to-one, does it work? We've been one-to-one for 20 years and nothing new has changed. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about what you see as a significant value add to actually providing the hardware for every learner?
And we will say too, though, we aren't fully one-to-one. So we're working through that. So we do have some pockets of some of our schools. I don't want anyone to hear that and say, what? We do have some places that are one-to-one, and then we do still have some shared carts and such. But our high school students do get a device checked out to them, so they get to take it home. Middle school kind of shares the carts, and then elementary has an assigned device to them that they keep at school. One of the big things, and we use Teams district-wide through K6, K5, and then we use Canvas 6-12. So we've used Canvas for years, and our teachers are still using Canvas secondary, but our elementary, it's just completely been a game changer, because we even had one of our good friends the other day. She's like, I don't even know what I did before Teams. Like, how did I even function? So, just being able to put those long reading passages in Teams, and then they can go in there and they can annotate, and they can, read that without having to go to the copier and copy, a million pages of reading passages for them. And really, those students, we still have, kids that are out for 10 days at a time. So, teachers are putting videos and putting links and just putting their content in Teams so that they still have access when they're not at school and they don't, fall behind. So just being able to still kind of not skip a beat and keep going.
And I think it's made it, like we mentioned before, seamless, essentially, because before our teachers were digging in and using technology. It's not that they weren't. You just had to think about things differently and strategically. Like, okay, I have to check out this many devices on this day, so I've got to plan everything out. When now it becomes more of just a part of how we operate, because we have them at our disposal all the time to be able to grab and use. If we need to Google something or, look up something, okay, grab it. Let's go. Let's dig into that. So it really allows us to be more fluid in the classroom.
And our teachers are able to utilize their curriculum resources, whatever, math resources or, ELAR resources, they can get those on their devices with the digital content much easier than before. So it's really been great. Our teachers are extremely overwhelmed and just, there's so much pressure, as in right now too. Like we thought, oh, it's going to be great this year. It's going to be, so wonderful, but they're still just trying to get kids caught up. And then there's just, the demands on assessments and just teaching in general. It's been hard. And I think for us, we just have to take a step back and realize we were so excited this year thinking, great, now they all have devices. They're going to want to do all the things. But, they still are in a different place and still having to adjust. So we have to just meet them where they are. And, just whenever they need things, they'll reach out and they just have to do what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, you used a great phrase that a lot of us talk about a lot in some way, shape, or form, and that's seamless technology, right? Technology just being a part of what we do. It doesn't stand out. It doesn't hide. It's just there as a support to learning. And I think that's really important, that we remind ourselves to work towards that as we come back. And I think one of the challenges, and I'm curious if you've seen that, seen this in your district or around the country, some teachers have come back from virtual learning and they've just ditched technology altogether, right? Like Teams and all these, well, they were just for hybrid. I just use Teams for video conferencing. I don't need any of that anymore. I'm just going to go back to what I was doing before. What do you say to those folks? How do we spark an idea or a passion in them to use some of the things you were talking about, right? Like file organization and communication and those sorts of things. What's the trick that ignites their passion along those lines?
Definitely think we've seen a lot of that. And we have seen some that say, I'm never using that again. We're going back to paper. I can't wait till I can get paper in my hands. And so, we laugh because, I see it both ways. I really do. I see the kids and teachers both just, I want to just hold the paper. I want, and then there's those that are like, oh my gosh, this has been so great. I don't have to take that stack of papers home to grade. I can just sit there at the game and be on my computer. But those that are a little resistant, and we just say, what, they'll get there. If you want to go back, take a breath, whatever you're comfortable with. And I think what we see is that there's going to be that teacher that's going to light that spark, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be the trendsetters and the ones that are going to oh, wow, that is, I do see the benefit of that, and it'll start growing. But we just tell teachers, whatever you're comfortable with, we don't want to pressure you, just do what is, do what works for you. And I think that like I said, they just have to take a breath because there's just so many demands right now that, we don't want to expect them to all do all of these things because that's not possible.
And I think, like Jenny mentioned before, meeting them where they are. Every teacher we come across, just like our students, are in a different place and have different needs. Some look at technology with Teams and they're like, oh my goodness, that's so efficient. Teach me, how can I do that? I want to know how to do that. Others, it might be that they just need their students to have accessibility tools. So here, let us show you how to do that. So it's really just evaluating each teacher and where they are, and then helping them find the tools they need and trying to spark that fire, like Jenny said, oh my goodness, this is so beneficial to me that I need more. What else do you have? What else can I get from this?
Yeah. I'm going to probably push a little bit there. I know, shocker. But you guys are saying, you do what works for you, but shouldn't we be doing what works for our students? As an educator myself, shouldn't we step out of our comfort zones and embrace what's best for students and what's best for learners? I'm not saying it's always best for them to be on a device. That's not it. But I think we should push back on educators a bit and say, it's not really about you. At the end of the day, it's about those human beings in your classroom. The reason why you probably became a teacher, to empower these kids to be whatever they want to be when they grow up. And I think we need to be more receptive to what their needs are. And if that is, they need access to a device, for accessibility purposes, or they would prefer to do their work in a digital manner, or they would prefer to have a safe voice to ask questions on a digital platform versus having to raise their hand and maybe speak out loud because they have a speech impediment. I'm just, obviously just challenging here, but when should we expect more that our teachers are meeting our students' needs versus meeting their own needs?
I think we're actually doing the exact same thing that you're saying, because when we do go in, we're evaluating the whole situation and we're saying, okay, what does that teacher need? What does that student need? Now let's try and push them to do that, but in a way that appeals to them to where it's like, oh, okay, that does help accessibility with that student. And we do use our own stories very much within the classroom. So we talk about our own kids and the struggles they've had. Like my son is dyslexic, and it is embarrassing to be in middle school in AP classes and have a teacher come over and have to read questions to him 4 times because he needs it read to him 4 times. And so we are huge advocates for that. And we share those stories and stories we've seen in other classrooms as kids have needed things with teachers. And then we show them how to do it. But it is, like kind of what you were saying, like it is what's best for kids. So it's evaluating every classroom we come into and saying, okay, what is it that your students need? What is it that you need?
And I think at a minimum, we really try to, with Edge, we just go in and say, at a minimum, use Edge. This is one tool that you can use for your students because of, X, Y, Z. And, it's just though that going back to that lighting the spark with those teachers, because I think that we've seen a lot of pushback from the technology, and it's also too some of our administrators are pulling back on it as well. So some of the teachers' hands are tied too. So they're doing the best that they can, but then if they don't have devices to them and only certain grades have them, then they have that other challenge. And so they're just trying to make the best of what they have. But, that's our role, is to go in and say, how can we, and then we have devices here. So we're like, we have devices, we'll bring them to you, whatever you need, but trying to show them, just activities that are, my big thing is it doesn't always have to be fun, but those are the things that the kids are going to remember, like those engaging activities where they were able to create and design and collaborate together. So, just working with teachers to help them plan those things is where we really try to, meet those needs with those teachers that are a little more hesitant.
And I think with accessibility tools, which we're super excited about, because Microsoft, we love Immersive Reader. I think we talk about it everywhere we go. It's our favorite thing. But I think one of the things we've also done over the years, like before COVID, this was not a thing. But now that we have devices, it is a thing that a lot of our accessibility is done through Microsoft tools. And so our teachers know that. Our 504 meetings are doing that. So a lot of our tools are being more streamlined in that direction, where our students are getting their needs met through these Microsoft tools. So that's really exciting just to see, coming from parents who have walked through this with our own kiddos. And, Microsoft was just coming out with Immersive Reader and just coming out with those tools. And now seeing it going full blown, even in our Canvas courses, like Canvas now has Immersive Reader. And so our students can use it, although it doesn't have it in all aspects. So we use Edge in those other places where it doesn't have it. And so it's like finding those gaps and making sure that our teachers know about all the tools, so that way accessibility can be given to all of our students.
So with that, what are some of the cool or innovative ways that you guys have been, yourselves, or you've seen teachers engage with students using Teams?
Right now, one of the cool things I'm loving, which I already kind of mentioned it, but data portfolios. I love students driving their learning and setting their own goals. I see the huge benefits of that. And that's exactly what they're doing. And it's, like we were saying earlier, seamless, right? So the teacher just distributes the pages. The kids know exactly where to go. They go to their OneNote, they've got their graphs, and then they take their data, they're charting it, they're putting in their goals, they're looking at, what can I do better? How can I reach this? And so I love seeing them become personal with their learning. And Teams and OneNote together has made that just a beautiful reality where it wasn't like that before.
And that's where we come in the classroom and go in and set up the team for the teachers and then help them pull their OneNote down. And so we can, I mean, even in third grade, second grade, we've gone in and taken that stress off of them, because I think that's a little daunting sometimes. We're like, I don't know, we'll do it. It's fine. And then when they realize, okay, that wasn't so bad, then they, kind of open up a little bit more. So the data portfolios has been huge this year. And we have a lot of schools that are just really kind of owning that and making that kind of a I don't like mandatory, always sounds so bad, but
I know,
a required way to
do
their data portfolios.
And then like some of our teachers, they know exactly how to send those assignments through Teams. So that way all of their students are getting what they need, and they're able to differentiate to different groups of students depending on what their needs are within their classroom. So it's just been a beautiful picture of students being able to access the information they need.
And that's such a small change, really, right? To move to a digital. I know there's a lot of work along the way, but the gains are tremendous, and the ability for students to see their work and have it all in one location, and then be able to move pages and organize. I was observing in a classroom this week at a school locally, and the teacher had the students working on worksheets. This is no joke. And when they were done with the worksheets, the students were putting glue on the back of the worksheet and pasting that into a spiral notebook from like 20 years ago. And to Robin's point about when do we push, like I made a note, I got to go back and push with that teacher, because what are you getting out of that, and what could you get by moving to a digital environment? A digital portfolio is just, and as you move through the grades, it becomes even more and more valuable. Students have a better ability to evaluate their work, right?
And parents, right? Like our parents are getting those parent links, and they're able to see exactly what their kids are doing in class. They're able to see what their student goals are. So that way that at home, even they can start digging in and helping their kiddos reach their goals. So I think even that is a huge piece as well.
It really allows for that, parent participation, the partnership between the teacher, the child, and the parent to become more realized partnership versus, that twice a school year you get to have a parent conference with the parent and give them an update on what's going on. Now, it's an opportunity to let the parent be part of the ongoing see the progress or the struggles that are ongoing, and then even leverage things like Teams for working parents that can't necessarily just be at the school in the middle of the work day to have a conference or to check in on the progress of their student. Now they can just join a teacher on a Teams call during a conference period and from their office or wherever they're working from, and having a quick check-in on their learners' progress. So I think it's it allows for everybody to come together a little bit better. One of the other things I want to point out to you guys, because you're obviously doing an amazing job, is you're really living our leadership principles that we kind of focus on here at Microsoft, which is model, coach, care. So you guys are actually modeling what you want the teachers to emulate. You're coaching them to get there by taking small steps, big progressively larger steps, and then you're caring for them. You're making sure that both them and their students are where they need to be. So I just wanted to give you guys a shout out. That is amazing, and so many people can learn from your leadership skills clearly. So
thank you. That's awesome. It's what we love doing, for sure.
Oh, sorry.
I was just say that's what we love. That's what we that makes us the happiest to go in and support teachers and then see them, carry that on. So.
But I think that model piece is so important, like you were saying, and Jenny was saying, because we've seen teachers, it's just overwhelming for them to try and jump off and do that on their own. But as soon as you walk in, and even if you're just with them or doing it for them or with them, co-teaching, it just takes all that stress. Like you can see it like melting off of them as they begin.
Absolutely. So I know you have some exciting news that you may want to share with the audience. So I'm not going to share it myself. I'm going to turn it over to you and let you guys share what you've been working on.
Okay. Well, it all timed up really well to, with all of this and being able to, wasn't really kind of in the works, but it all, it all is the way it's supposed to be. So yesterday, actually, our book that we've been writing forever, it seems like, was available on Amazon. So we didn't think it was going to be until like today or tomorrow. So it was yesterday. So we were super excited about that. And the title of the book is the Microsoft Teams Playbook. And wait, I always forget the tagline.
It changed a few times, as you can imagine, in the editing process.
Hold on, it's right here. Your guide to creating an empowered classroom, because we've changed it a few times. So really our goal is to empower teachers to create an environment for their students to kind of equal the playing field, and providing accessibility tools for them, building relationships. And we the book is divided up into 4 sections. And the first one is really kind of our personal experiences as moms of children with dyslexia, and, kind of highlighting those accessibility pieces, and really focusing on 5 areas: student agency, assessment, accessibility, and community. Community is assessment, accessibility, relevancy.
That's fine.
So that's the first section, really just kind of building those relationships and kind of laying down the groundwork. And then the second section.
The second section is a Teams tour, right? We want to give you a tour of Teams and let you know what each of the different sections are and some of the most beneficial pieces you can use. But not only that, we also enjoy sharing best practices with you, as we have lived through this time of different types of classrooms, from hybrid to in-person to all remote. We talk about different ways to set up your classroom within that space. So best practices for using chat within your classroom, best practices for using channels, best practices for building community. So just different ways to use those features in your classroom, no matter what type of classroom you have.
And the third part is about, is called the plays. So we have lessons. We have over 70 lessons in the book, whether they are accessible in the book with written in the book, or through a QR code. So some of them are on our website because we had to kind of cut the word count. We were getting really wordy. Imagine that. But in the plays section, we actually have QR codes throughout. There's hundreds of QR codes that go to templates, videos, websites, more lessons, blogs,
all kinds of stuff, whatever resource you need.
Resources, attached in there. So we actually highlight 9 different partner applications that you can use with Teams. Or, if you're a Google Classroom, or you use Canvas, or you use Schoology, you can still adapt the lessons. We can use Wakelet, we can use Flipgrid with any platform. So we talk about Flipgrid, Adobe Spark, Canva, Wakelet, OneNote, Forms, Genially, Buncee, and PowerPoint. So those are the 9 main areas that we focus on, and how to use that with Teams. And so we give you actual lesson ideas and resources and templates, and lots of stuff, lots of great stuff.
One of the things we love about Microsoft that they're doing is really partnering with other applications and sharing the accessibility love, right, with Immersive Reader. We see it showing up in multiple different apps, like Wakelet, like Buncee, Flipgrid. So we love that. And then we also love that they are embedding these other applications into their programs. And so it really allows the teacher to, whatever tool it is that they use the most and are the most comfortable with, or whatever is best for the students that they need to have some type of gaming activity for them, they can take that and put it right into their learning platform. So it really highlights how that partnership works.
And then the last section
is all about how to connect with all these different communities. Of course, we love Microsoft, and we think it is the best PLN we have ever been a part of. We love the MIE expert community. In fact, I still remember the day that we met the E-Twins at one of the summits. It felt like family, running towards each other and giving each other the biggest hug, even though we only know each other on Twitter. But we had been learning together. We'd been sharing ideas together.
Same time we met Bricker and Mockerman too, that year, maybe it was the year before, I don't remember. But it's just it's hard because you see everybody online, then when you meet them in real life, I feel like I've known you forever. But.
And so we love how this community comes together and supports each other. And so we, at the end of the book, we share all the ways that you can connect with the MIE expert community, and
become an ambassador for Wakelet and Buncee, and so all the different ways that you can grow and continue to learn and connect with others. So we just hope that it's useful, and we're just excited that it's out there, and we just love, want to hear the feedback from people, and it's just exciting. And so we will be there Saturday and TCCA. And so we have a couple books with us that we're going to do some.
Well, they're supposed to
giveaways.
come in tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah.
We have a big storm coming, so we're hoping it makes it here tomorrow.
Well, we're so proud of you ladies for putting your thoughts down in a book and sharing those thoughts with the world. So thank you and congratulations on your book. I know I can't wait to read it. I know you guys sent it to me back in the day when you were starting to write, and it was one of those, like insane months of my life. But I know I'm so excited to read it, and I need your personal autographs obviously for the book soon. So maybe on Friday when I see you, wink wink, I can maybe make that happen.
That'd be awesome.
Well,
make sure you tweet that out so the rest of us who aren't there can be really jealous.
Sorry, Scott. You're always with us in our heart.
Come on down, Scott.
Yeah,
I know, right?
You can jump in my van and ride down with us to Houston.
Just a quick flight over to Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, we are so thankful for you guys being part of our community, being part of the show tonight, and for all that you do every day. But before we let you go, we want to see if you're down for a little lightning round so we can get to know the real Jenna Lee.
Oh, okay.
And that's dangerous.
I'm a little scared.
All right. Well, here we go. I'll ask you the first few questions and then toss it over to Scott. All right. What food can you not live without?
I'm going to say hers is avocado.
Oh, yeah.
She loves avocados.
Okay. So in that case, you have to answer first.
Oh! Starbucks double shot.
You're so good.
All right. Starbucks and avocados. Got it.
Avocados too, though.
Yeah, I love avocados too.
All right. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you want to be?
Oh, gosh. Oh, B? They said E.
Yeah, B. Where would you want to be?
Where would you want to be hanging out?
I'd like to go to Hawaii.
I just love traveling, so it doesn't really matter. Just
You want to
buy
go
me a
to
plane
Greece?
ticket. I am going to Greece. Well, I planned it last summer and it did not happen. So this summer we rebooked it. So hopefully it happens.
Beautiful. I love Greece.
Yay, I can't wait.
I'm ready to go back again. So
This summer, you're welcome. Come on.
don't tempt me. You're straggling along. All right. Did you ladies pick up any new hobbies during the quarantine time or this extended pandemic?
Celie did. She is a TikToker. Yeah.
I got some
She's
moves.
got the woe
I've been
down. Yeah. She makes some awesome TikToks, quick tutorials. And she's just great with like graphics and video editing and everything. So she's done, she'll send me TikToks all night. And so it's fun. But
Jenny did too. Are you ready?
what did I do?
She is a Peloton
Oh.
amazing athlete. Yes. And she does it religiously almost every day. But I also have one.
You got one before me.
But I have not used mine as well. My husband is quick to point that out too. So
Okay, we all have that piece of equipment in our house. There's no judging, no judgment.
no clothes are on it though, because that's what he keeps saying. He's like, it's a clothes hanger. I'm like, no, it's not. No clothes are there. It's in the office. You can't hang clothes up there.
That's funny. That's true. I forgot about that.
See?
All right. What is the last TV series that you binge watched, and how long did it take you to get through it? If you have time for that, among all the other things that you do.
We don't watch a whole lot of TV. The last one that I watched was Ted Lasso.
Me too. But I slept through some of it because I kept falling asleep.
I will tell you, this is a funny one. So back, I think it was Christmas break, my daughter started rewatching Grey's Anatomy, and I've never watched Grey's Anatomy. And I've always been like, I don't understand what the big deal is with Grey's Anatomy. And so then she was watching it. And so I was in the living room and I was like, okay, I'm going to keep watching a little bit. So then I think I started with her when she was on like season 12. And so I then watched through the end with her. So then my husband and I started it like in January or something. We started with season 1 and we're still not caught up. But we can only watch 1 or 2, every few nights. So I'm trying to get through Grey's Anatomy. When you ask how long it's taken, almost a year to get through.
My husband still always asks me, "Where's Little Gray?"
Good one, though.
All right, we'll get you out of here on this one tonight. Who inspires you the most in your life right now?
At this current moment, I would say Celie.
I would say Jenny.
Aw.
She is very inspirational.
I feel like we need a little heart.
I know. I'm
yeah.
like,
Oh.
I don't have
good
graphics. That's awesome.
Yeah, but our mothers are our true inspirations, and we write about them in our book too. But yeah, I mean, coming from a family of educators, and just give a lot of tribute to them for who we are. And we've talked about this a lot, so
I know. Even my mom on Facebook left a sweet message last night, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, Mom, you're amazing!" Like, she's a retired principal, and just her heart just flows for students learning and supporting them, and it's just beautiful.
I think you're both excellent examples of the leadership that your mom instilled in you. So again, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight, sharing your voice with our listeners. Thanks for putting your book together, all that you do each and every day to, at the end of the day, empower these learners across the planet to be everything they want to be when they grow up. So thank you for all that you do from the bottom of my heart.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see you on Friday.
I can't wait.
Yeah, have a great time. Have a great time.
You're next, Scott. We're coming for you.
I love it.
Come to California. We will.
That
Always welcome. Thanks again, ladies. We appreciate you so much. We love you to death, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
See y'all later. Thank you. Bye.
Always a treat.
I can chat with them all night. I look forward to hanging out with them in person again. And TCEA in the spring cannot come fast enough.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be here soon.
Hopefully in person still, right?
Right now, everything is supposed to be in person. That's all we're hearing at Microsoft. So we're trying to figure out what our presence looks like at TCEA and FETC and all the spring conferences that are coming around. But everything's currently moving in that direction. So
it's going to be some exciting educators coming back together in person again, right?
For sure. I have all my fingers and toes crossed that it stays that way. So
you bet.
Let's stay healthy, America.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's quickly dive into a few resources. I know we wanted to share just a couple things. There are many out there, but just a few things about teams that our viewers can look up if they need some help and assistance or just want some more information.
Absolutely. Well, we'll start off with the first one just being Mike T. So if you guys are not connected to Mike Tholson, he is one of our, I'd say education evangelists at this point internally here at Microsoft. He works on our engineering team for the education team and really is the voice into our engineering team and then also our voice out to all of our educators and school leaders. So he has a very large social presence. If you're not following him, he's on Facebook, he's on Twitter, he's on TikTok, he's got a YouTube channel. Definitely connect with him out on social. He is prolifically sharing, video tutorials that he's creating, tips, new product features and releases. And then he's also really good just about connecting people when they have questions, getting them the right answer or asking folks out there what they need most and then relaying that messages back to our engineers. So, definitely Teams is Mike's, OneNote is his first love, but Teams I think is his second. So if there's anything that you need to connect with on either of those tools, Mike is your man.
I'm convinced there's 3 or 4 Mike Bolsons because he's so good at responding to messages and creating videos. And I don't know if he ever sleeps. He's doing so much, but he's definitely amazing. Our next resource is just a reminder about these click-through demos on Teams. I don't think a lot of people know about these, and we've included the link in our Wakelet resources, as we always do. But especially for new Teams users, I think these are awesome. The ability to go into a pre-built team, and literally it's what you do. You just click through this team, and it has little pop-up windows, shows you some highlights of what chat is, what assignments are, how you post. And for those that need kind of a slower maybe walk through or kind of their own pacing, their self-paced lesson, these are really, really great. So highly recommend these click-through demos. The link we have was created by Microsoft. There are others out there that have been created. But again, just a great resource, especially for new folks to Teams to work through some of the basics of Teams in education.
The third resource I will share with you guys is docs.microsoft.com. Docs.microsoft.com is really a repository of tons of technical information, typically written for developers and IT professionals, but folks in your school district who are trying to get teams set up on the back end and look at the settings and the compliance and, turning permissions for teacher or student users on or off, being able to make all the management compliance and toggling decisions that need to be made on the back end of M365, and specifically that can be done in the Teams console portion. All that information can be found on docs.microsoft.com. In the Wakelet, where we'll share the resources with you guys, we'll actually have the direct link to the Teams doc site so that you can get specific information on Teams. But just in generally, you can find lots of technical resources there, and or point to your technical folks in your district to that location if they're unsure where to find this information.
Great resource. Next up is the Microsoft Education blog. I love it. I subscribe to it. I read them all the time. It's really just a bank of articles written by everyone from VP of Education Anthony Salcido to the Microsoft Education team, the Teams team, Flipgrid, guest educators, you name it. There's amazing blog posts on there, not just about tools, but about trends in education, where things are headed, whether it's the research for the class of 2030, all those sorts of things. You can find a wealth of knowledge and resources there in the education blog. And as I said, you can subscribe as well, so you'll get those updates. Again, in the Wakelet resources, but you can find the blog at educationblog.microsoft.com.
And the last one, so we're probably like, duh, it's just the web, just using the internet to do a search for whatever you're looking for. There are so many resources that, individuals have compiled, people at Microsoft have compiled, et cetera, out there and available. If you do a search for Microsoft Teams on YouTube, or even specifically for education, you're going to get an abundance of resources and tutorial videos, et cetera. Depending on what you're looking for, you might narrow your search, because Microsoft Teams is used by everyone, consumers, large corporations, enterprise businesses, non-for-profit organizations, all the way down to the classroom. And obviously, our version of Teams for Schools is tailored to an education environment. So if you want education Teams content, then narrow that search down. But there's tons of things out there. Even Facebook, if you go into Facebook and do a search in Facebook for Microsoft Teams for Education, there are tons of at self-created educator groups that are in there helping each other out, asking questions. How do you do this? Oh, did you check out this new feature that just launched? So they're having those conversations there. So just, if you have a question about Teams, the web's pretty friendly. You'll get an abundance of resources.
No doubt. Yeah, and then some, right?
Okay, yes, more than you want, probably.
Yeah, probably. Definitely spend some time sifting through that. But again, we've mentioned it. Don't forget that all of our resources, all the links from tonight, everything from Jenna Lee and their book and their website and whatnot, to all the things we share, docs.microsoft.com and all of that are included in our Wakelet resources. And that also includes all the links to our shows from season 2. You can find it all there.
Well, we look forward to joining you, or you having us. I can't speak anymore this afternoon. It's definitely the end of the day for me.
Right.
Look forward to having you join us in our next episode, November 9th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Scott and I'll be back here again. You can also catch the recording from this episode or many of the other ones. They're all available right now on demand at aka.ms/US Microsoft EDU Live. So feel free to reach out to Scott and I with any questions you have. We are here. Hopefully you can maybe recommend some future guests that we'll have on the show as well. And before we wrap up, I must say it is the end of October, which means before we see you again, there's going to be a holiday this weekend in the U.S. And so happy Halloween for all of you that celebrate Halloween, or Dia de la Muertes is also coming up around the corner. So hopefully you have some fun trick-or-treats around the corner in your local neighborhood.
Absolutely. We got the Brickers going as Mario Kart this year. So I got a little work to do to build some car costumes this week. I'll be busy, but I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Do you do the whole family dress up thing, Scott? Or just the boys?
We are this year. Typically just the boys, but the boys are old enough. They want mom and dad to get involved. So that's what we do. We're going to go along with it. We're going to have some fun.
Excellent. Well, I'll be here handing out candy to all the cute little trick-or-treaters that come around.
Love it. Love it. Well, great to see you, Robin. Thanks for another great show. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. And To all of our viewers, same thing. Have a great rest of the week.
Yeah, have a great week, guys. Thanks, Scott.
Adios.